Hi, I'm Hillary,
Hi, I'm Julie.
and we work here at ARCAL, the Resource Center for Accessible Living, right here in Ulster County, New York. And today, Julie and I are going to talk a little bit about person first language and what it is, what it means, and how it relates to disability. So, Julie,
Yes.
what in the world is person first language?
Well, it is literally where you put the person first when you're speaking. So,
It makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So instead of saying someone is homebound, you say this is a person who can't leave their home.
Oh, that makes sense. Because sometimes I hear a lot people say the disabled, but we should really be saying a person with a disability or persons with disabilities, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
So
well, that makes a lot of sense.
a person who uses a wheelchair, a person who has quadriplegia.
Okay.
Because once you say someone is quadriplegic, you're kind of putting them in a box of that's all that person is. And we want to put the person before the disability.
So, because you're a person first, right?
You're a person first.
That makes a lot of sense. So, we've got a person with a disability. We could say a person with autism, right? But what if I am the person with the disability and I want to be called something else? Is that okay too?
Oh, absolutely. Because we're person-centered, we want to do what the person that we're working with wants.
Yeah. So if I want to be, if I'm blind and I want to be people to say that, you know, so and so is blind, that's okay.
If the person who is blind requests that, absolutely.
All right. So it sounds like if I'm someone that's not sure, I should maybe use person first language. And then it might be a good idea to ask the person themselves, right? Because everyone's different.
Yeah, and it can be a little awkward as an able-bodied person. I don't always feel comfortable addressing someone else's what I perceive as a disability, but they've lived with it for however long, and they might be comfortable. And I would be providing respect to that person by asking them how they want to be addressed.
Yeah. So sometimes there's a lot of ableism going around, right?
Yeah, where people who are able-bodied and maybe only able-bodied in a certain respect, but they don't recognize or they have thoughts about what a person who doesn't have that particular skill or ability can do.
I think that that's common. I'm glad you brought it up, Julie. One thing I heard, and let me know your thoughts on this, is that the independent living centers believe that a person is really more disabled by the community that they live in than their disability. Meaning that if a place doesn't have a ramp, there's lots of barriers to access, that's really more disabling than your disability necessarily. Is that true?
Your so-called disability.
Your so-called disability.
Right, because the able community has put barriers there by not having a ramp. And you might be able to function perfectly well. We have people who work here at ARCAL who use wheelchairs. They get around on their own. They've got a few accommodations, like a van with a ramp.
But they're really not, you know, in that respect, they're not disabled as long as there is access. Right? So it's all about creating access is what it sounds like to me.
Yep, and that's what ARCAL's all about.
Yes. So if I'm someone who has a disability, or I'm someone who wants to learn more about disability, or feels that maybe there's a barrier existing in my community or in my life, I could call ARCAL and get more information?
You should absolutely call ARCAL and get more information.
All right. Or I could check out their website?
The website has a lot of, it has a description of all of our programs. One of our programs is actually about architectural barriers.
Oh.
So we have someone here whose entire job is to make sure there's ramps and other things.
Because you can't turn a ramp or a set of stairs into a ramp. You got to call us, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate your time, Julie.
What's the phone number?
Oh, our phone number is 845
331
0541, and you can ask for more information about access and about person first language and about ableism or any other concerns that you have around disability, right, Julie?
Right. And the website is rcal.org, the
Yes.
Resource Center for Accessible Living.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.